Is it? Is
Because
that what
I could
Zika
use a
is?
little Zika in my life, is what I'm telling you.
Yeah, it is kind of hard to find.
Zika's like
Just give me like 2
a
cc's
horrible,
of Zika.
crippling disease that affects.
No, just makes your head a little like slim and trim.
Oh,
So-
Those kids do not. What? No,
It's like
Those
Hydro-
kids could be models. They look
like
so good.
Head models.
Head models, yeah. This is a thing. Head
do
models are a
not.
thing.
It's like hydroxy cut for your head.
Hydroxy cut for your head.
All right, guys. Well, thank you for joining us for another Last Call podcast. My name is Mikey T. I'm joined as always by Tristan.
Hello.
We have brought back the original crew of Last Call
Putting the band back together.
and brought in Devon and Sean to join us for this.
Hey,
And we'll get back into the swing of things. Keep going the way we always have.
What was the name of that movie? I want to say late 90s, where there was a kid who had autism and he cracked a government supercode
Biker Boys.
and he maybe the sequel.
Schindler's
He
List.
cracked a government supercode and he had to be protected by, I think, Bruce Willis so that the government didn't get him.
I have no idea.
you're just making this up.
No, I am not. That's a real movie. Don't
You're
make. I will look it
100%
up.
making this up.
It's called like Red something, Red Mercury or something like that. Nobody else has seen this movie.
Nope.
Because it doesn't exist.
I'm pretty sure the kid's name is Simon. He's
I
like
can make up a movie
severely
for you right
autistic.
now.
What's that?
So wait, so you're telling me that the kid has like severe autism?
He loves solving, but like he's like a savant, right? Like he's really good at puzzles,
Like
like all puzzles.
Okay.
And somehow he stumbles across a government code that's been like put out in public, so like people are supposed to be able to read it, can read it, but he can also read it, and that's a fucking problem for the government. It's supposed to be read by like supercomputers, but his brain works like a supercomputer, so he can break it. Now the government wants to murder him, and Bruce Willis, I think, maybe John Travolta, I don't remember, needs to save
might
him.
have
That's
been
quite a swing.
A fever dream of yours.
Yeah, I don't. But remember, like there was that time in like the '90s where like John Travolta could do those things, like Broken Arrow, or he was coming
Face
off.
Off.
He was coming off of Face Off
Yeah.
and Pulp
Swordfish.
Fiction,
That's when their faces
Swordfish.
came off. Did you guys see that? That's when their faces came off.
Yeah.
That's the whole premise of the movie.
Oh, so you have seen the movie.
Face Off.
Well, their faces come back on
Well, actually,
eventually.
it was face/off.
Is it a forward slash or a backslash? I don't remember.
God, this is such
Which way? Where it leans.
I don't know.
Riveting.
I've been on the internet for years. I've done
Well,
coding.
It leans
I still
forward.
don't remember.
If it leans forward, it's a forward slash. If it leans back, it's a backslash.
And forward is towards the end of the sentence.
From left to right.
If it leans forward, it's forward slash. Okay, this may be a turning moment in my life where I never forget that.
I'm pretty
The
good.
more you know. Where's Adam to sing that again? All right, so let's start off by just saying that the whole reason everybody's able to be here is that we're recording on the weekend because
Which is weird. Daylight outside. It felt really bizarre to drive over here with alcohol in my backpack. Like, let's get ready for the podcast
Get ready for the podcast.
during the day.
2 in the afternoon. But the whole reason we did that, your wife was out of town. We couldn't get the usual time, so
Yeah, it got all fucked up.
we tried to push it back a couple days. Had to swap. I originally had 2 other guests lined up.
Yeah.
We pushed it back.
The one time we weren't trying to put guests together at 5 o'clock, 3
Yeah.
hours before we were getting started.
I am normally frantically calling people because I'm like, oh shit, I got a podcast. Should probably try to find some people to be on it. But it ended up working out because it get pushed back again because I guess you can go into the details there a little bit. But
So Susan travels periodically for business, right? She travels like 4 or 5 times a year, and she'll typically be gone for like a week. And has Christina left you with the baby for an extended period of time yet?
no, we talked about that early on where it was like,
Did we? Where it's like the 90-10 split?
Yeah.
Yeah, we did, didn't we? It was like on the first or second episode.
Mhm.
Yeah, so I've been banging my head against the wall all week trying to keep these children alive. Although it's a lot easier to talk about the 90-10 split with Sean in the room here. And now I feel like a fucking asshole being like, man, I'm so burdened with my wife out of town. God damn it. So she was supposed to come back on Thursday, right? She left on
like
Monday.
early
She-
on, right, or something.
Yeah, she was supposed to catch a flight out of California at like 5:45 in the morning and land here at like 3 at BWI in Baltimore, right? And she'd be home for the day, and she'd be able to take care of the kids in the evening. So I get a call in the morning. She says, they've delayed my flight. It's at least a couple hours at this point. I'm not going to be home until probably, 5 or 6 or something like that. She goes back and forth with the airlines, back and forth and back and forth. She was supposed to fly out, from Bakersfield to LA, and then LA directly to Baltimore. So the airline's like, okay, look, so we're not going to be able to get you to Baltimore at 5, but what we can do is reroute you through Denver and then to Dulles, which is an airport that's like 75 miles away, and get you there at like 12 o'clock at night.
Nailed it.
Got it. Oh, man.
And she just, like, as an airline passenger, you just have to, like, just bend over and take it. You're just like, okay, well, thanks for getting me home and providing this service that I fucking paid you for.
Yeah.
How is that allowed? How is that?
So what happened? Did they have like mechanical failure? They lose a plane?
Who fucking knows? Like, so I take a flight out, and my mom takes a flight out to Canada every like twice a year, and there's a flight from here to Toronto, and they fly it like twice a day. And if they don't sell enough seats on the one that leaves at like 8 o'clock in the morning, they're just like, nah, you're going on the one that leaves at 5 o'clock at night now. Like, fuck you. You'll have to figure it out. And then you end up flying into Toronto at 9 o'clock at night and taking an overnight. They just get to fuck with you in whatever way they please, and there's no recourse for any of that. Like, you don't travel for business at all, do you?
No. I don't even like my 20-minute drive to work.
Oh, yeah. Well, that's a whole other issue.
I fucking hate traveling. Like... That's probably the main reason. Like, my sister loves to travel. My mom loves to travel. I like being in other places. I fucking hate traveling.
Like getting there, like
yeah.
like
Oh, it's a freaking nightmare, though.
I would like to be in Japan. I'd like to be in like Germany or something. I do not want to travel to those places. That part sounds horrible. I can't
go
stand
the
it.
legwork. To get to Germany.
I'm such a nerd. Like, you mean I get to have 13 hours playing my DS? Score.
Oh, God.
I've been thinking about lately, like, I know that there are like litigation risks here, but like, what about a service where like I have a team that comes to your house with a anesthesiologist, and we come to your house
What?
and we lay you down like on a gurney, and we
like
put
Fifth
you
Element.
under, and then you wake up 20 hours later in Japan in your hotel room.
Stupidest
And
idea
you're-
I've ever heard.
And you're,
No, that's like Fifth Element, where you get on the plane and
Yeah,
then
go to sleep.
you just pass
Except
out.
You go to sleep like in your bed, and then me and my team transport your limp and lifeless body from here to Tokyo. And you go to sleep in your bed, and you wake up in a bed in Tokyo.
You're
no
like,
travel,
Wake
no
up
bag
with bruises
movement.
and stuff.
you're like, why?
Imagine any moving company and you picture them throwing the boxes around. That's your body.
Well, I wasn't
And
planning
someone's
on.
going to touch you.
I wasn't planning
Like, why
on
does my butt
hiring
hurt?
Hey, why does my...
Tito and
everything-
Jerome to get this done. Okay, like I'm like qualified
Raekwon and
professionals.
Jaquan.
Like, well, yeah,
Did you
Raekwon
say
and
T-Bear
Jaquan.
and Jamal?
Tito and Jerome.
Oh, that was a cool cartoon. Don't worry about it.
Oh, yeah. No, I'm talking like professional. This would be an expensive, classy service for like, people who have
A guy
money.
named, like, Tanner would be coming picking
Yeah,
you
a
up.
guy
Okay.
named Tanner would do that a lot.
Fuck Tanner.
I would.
Bryce.
Yeah, I'd put him out and I'd fly him out to Tahoe, 3 times a year, and we just put him under and.
I like to imagine that they knock you out and then you get thrown into like a box with packing peanuts.
Just
But
an
look
oxygen
how-
mask. We put you in the cargo hold.
Look how often luggage gets lost at the airport, though.
You wake up in a different state.
Sorry, you were put on the wrong flight.
in a box.
Side note, they make organic packing peanuts, so you can actually like eat them.
them?
Yeah.
It tastes like just like funny cheese balls.
The way I actually envisioned it was like, you load these people like onto like a big kind of truck, and then you put them onto a plane, and they're all wired into like medical observation, and you've got like a medical team on the plane to see if like anybody starts to like, their heart stops.
Nightmare.
I imagine
For
like
anyone else in the plane,
the
though.
solution. What's that? No,
Everyone else is like, what the
you don't
hell
have
is going on?
You don't have normal people and my special Z travelers on the same flight. Yeah, it's a solo, it's a private
name.
plane. Z
Z
travel.
Travelers.
Yeah,
We
that's-
hook them
Stuff
into
this
a
thing.
device
Trademark.
similar to the Matrix,
Yeah.
and their bodies power the plane.
Hey, now you're thinking fucking electrolytes and shit. It's what plants crave.
wrong.
No, this is, private plane. Like, this is 10 grand a ticket. 20 grand a ticket. This is expensive stuff. Like, yeah, this isn't for you poors.
Oh, sorry.
This
This is for us people.
Commoner peons.
Yeah,
Yeah,
okay.
it's for like Michael Jackson would take this service. Yeah, he loved being put to sleep. We're using
Allegedly.
medical. No, I think that was allegedly he liked having sex with children. Actually, he did like being put to sleep with drugs. Right?
No.
That's an actual.
Is that what went wrong?
Having sex with children? Yes.
Propofol.
Yes.
Well, yeah, yeah. I think it was propofol or whatever. Like he couldn't sleep without drug intervention, and he had to get harder and harder and harder and harder drugs until they were putting him down with propofol, which is like fucking rhinoceros tranquilizer or something.
3 darts is too much.
And yeah, he just like he went, and like somebody described to me one day, they were talking about like fighting, like when you punch somebody and you knock them out, what you've done is you've hit them so hard that their brain has decided it'd be better for them to not be alive for a little bit so that you can just take a moment.
You ever been knocked out?
No. No.
I haven't either. I've had my bell rung pretty good, but that's about it.
It's not good for you. That's why they always talk about like in movies and stuff.
Weird.
Like,
I never thought it was.
well,
Studies
except it's like,
say it's bad.
it used to be a high school kid would take a shot on a football field and he'd get passed out, and the coach would be like, "Fucking walk it off." No, that's like a traumatic brain injury. Maybe like take him back in the locker room for a minute.
What a game to win, man.
It's like, this pee-wee football game matters. Who cares about your kid's health when he's in his 30s?
I can replace him. There will be more here next year. Who needs that? Nah, man, Z travel. It's the way
It's
of
the future. Got it.
It is. It's coming.
Let's make that happen.
Damn it.
Because
Do you have a medical
Now
degree?
I want this. Like now you've sold me.
Right?
When you said Z travel, I was like, oh,
Like a guy just comes over in like a coat with just like a stylized Z on his chest. He's just like, "Good afternoon,
I'm thinking
Good afternoon, Mr. Devon. I'm here to escort you to Tokyo."
yeah.
And you're just like in your fucking PJs. You get in your bed and a little
No.
pinch in the arm.
Nude.
Not gonna lie
Nude.
though, the combination of Z and the fact that we were talking about Zika right before,
Well,
It's like-
yeah, not to be confused with Zika travel. That's a different airline.
that's much cheaper.
Way cheaper.
That's actually what Spirit Airlines was called before they.
God. Oh, I took Spirit out to Vegas.
How was it? I was
You were
thinking about
brave.
using them.
You are brave.
During the day, it was fine. It was easy. Like, they're assholes about pricing. Like,
Yeah, they
the
are.
initial
Oops.
ticket price looks cheap. Oh, yeah, okay.
Forgot to turn that over.
The initial ticket price looks cheap for Spirit, but they charge you for everything, every bag, everything you want. Every seat has an upcharge to it. But during the day, it was easy because you hop on a flight at like 10 o'clock in the morning. You load up a couple of movies on your iPad. Like, they don't have movies on the fucking plane. That's
Nah,
too
that's
much.
fine.
You load up a couple of movies on your iPad. You take a quick nap, and you're in Vegas, and it's fine. Coming back. First of all, leaving Vegas on Sunday night is a terrible fucking idea because everyone leaves Vegas on Sunday night. It's like
Sure,
that
yeah.
city empties out. So you've got to stand around in the airport with like the great unwashed. People are like still drunk and children are crying.
What children are out there?
Oh, tons of children. Vegas is like family friendly now. Like you could take your kids out there and lose your mortgage at the same time.
It's called multitasking.
But the chairs don't recline. And also, they're
'Cause
like,
that matters.
They're like when it's nighttime, when you're taking a flight out at 1 o'clock in the morning, and your chair doesn't recline, and the padding is like an inch of foam between you and a steel bucket. That was the longest flight of my life.
I thought they were just like lawn chairs bolted to the
That is
fuselage.
essentially it. With you know those old like. Did your grandma ever have those chairs that were just like wood with like the frilly pillows that are tied to the
Yeah.
back of the chair?
Yeah.
That's essentially what they operate on Spirit Airlines.
And
You
this-
sold me on 2 things now.
All
I
those-
want that.
All those pads ever did was like remind you what a soft pad like cushion could feel like.
How much better the chair you were currently in could be.
Yeah, it's like because it didn't really help because then you just sort of had like half of your ass or leg is on wood and half has like
Because
this.
it always had the buttons in it.
Yeah.
Right? They were
Really
like
cool
hard buttons.
They don't want you to be too comfortable.
It's all about balance.
I didn't realize what a cultural touchstone that was. Like, you guys both knew exactly what I was talking about.
Damn right.
Wow, I had no idea that was that
grandma.
common. I just didn't know that all grandmas had those chairs.
Mandatory.
Like,
They also had that little jar of candy.
Ooh, Werther's
The
Originals.
butterscotch.
Fuck yes.
No, did you have any?
no, my grandma.
You didn't have your grandma did not love you.
She had candy. She had weird. I was trying to remember what candy she had. It was always weird candy. It wasn't Werther's. It wasn't like
Andes mints. That's what my grandma had.
Oh, I wish there had been Andes mints. That'd have been better. No, it was always
crush
like
them right now.
I think she had like licorice candies and stuff.
Oh,
Yeah, it was weird
Was
stuff
that a
because I
horsehound
remember
flavor?
it was candy that I wasn't enthused about as like a 7-year-old kid. So like it must have been some fucked up candy,
it's
right?
I always
Or
hated that
Cracker Barrel.
that commercial for Werther's Original back in the day, where it shows like the grandfather giving the kid Werther's Original. That kid would be appalled. Like who? Nobody likes Werther's Original.
I like Werther's Original.
I love Werther's.
You
They're
old
delicious.
bastard.
I love them. They're delicious. It's just hard caramel. I like sugar butter.
Sean, what's your stance on Werther's Original?
Tell me.
I like them, and my daughter is thrilled when we go over to the grandparents, and they always have them.
Sorry, Mikey, you're on the outs on this one.
You're all on
Werther's
ISIS.
are delicious.
You're all nice.
My
Well,
one
funny
time
story.
going over my grandmother's, one time I said how much I liked the pork chops that she made, so she always made me pork chops every single time. Oh, you're stopping by for half an hour? I got pork chops ready.
Grandma?
We didn't have the Werther's Original there. She had pork chops ready and waiting.
All right.
Were they in a little dish?
That little mini pork
They
chop
just
for you,
sat out
Johnny
on
boy.
the table.
we had
Grandma.
something happen like that with Christina's mom. Like somehow she heard that I like deviled eggs, which I like deviled eggs okay. But she somehow
Oh, that's so funny.
I don't know how it like somehow she thinks they're like my favorite thing ever. So she always will make them because she knows I like them, and then it's like
She's
don't
trying to
worry,
be super nice.
yeah. She's like don't worry, I put some aside for you, and I'm like
Don't worry. I've
Now,
got you
and now you've
deviled
waited
eggs.
too long to tell her that like you're only lukewarm on them.
yeah, like I'll eat like a deviled egg a year, like it's, and I'm like. Yeah, that was good. I'm good for a year, but it's like I don't have the heart to tell her. So we always just like I'll take those and then I'll give them to Christina because
Does she
really...
watch this podcast?
yeah, right.
Sorry, Grandmama.
My
It ain't gonna happen.
when I was a kid,
That would be a terrible way to find out. It's like, oh, I was watching the podcast.
Hate my deviled eggs.
there'd be so much wrong with that. When I was a kid, my we'd go through like a gas station or something like that, or my mom go to a grocery store and be like, "Hey, you want a candy bar? I'll grab a candy bar for everybody." And I'd be like, "Yeah, I want a Fifth Avenue," and Brittany'd be like, "Oh, I want Skittles or whatever." Always whatever her favorite is, and she'd be like, she'd ask my dad, "Do you want a candy bar?" And he'd be like, "Yeah, go ahead and grab me something." And at one point, probably when I was like 5 or 6, he was like, "It'd be good, a Butterfinger. I'd like a Butterfinger." And then every time for about a decade that my mom would grab a candy bar for everybody, he'd be like, "Yeah, just grab me something." And we'd be like, "Oh, Butterfinger's his favorite. Get him a Butterfinger." And like after 10 years of this, one day my dad absolutely snapped. He's like, "Why have I been eating nothing but Butterfingers for a decade? I asked you for a Butterfinger one time. Why is this the only candy bar I've ever eaten in my life?" I just absolutely lost it.
I could absolutely see your dad doing that too.
Yeah, Butterfingers are fine, but it's not the only candy bar I ever want to eat. Fuck.
Just lost it. That's perfect.
I have no funny candy stories.
No candy related
I have
stories.
no- I
just
love
gotta
all
lean in
candy.
real-
They're delicious.
Gotta lean in real quick. It's like I have nothing to contribute.
Goodbye.
Move on. It's like the end.
Who did I see? Was it on TV the other day? Some stand-up comic or something like that was making the point like, why can't they sell Girl Scout cookies in grocery stores?
John Mulaney.
Yeah, he was like, how
Love
come?
that guy.
Did you say that on the podcast last week? He was like, how come I have to know a 9-year-old in order to eat these
A 9-year-old
delicious
in a
cookies?
beret.
Yeah, a 9-year-old in a beret.
What was it? It's like if you only sold Coca-Cola in July. You could only buy it from the Kiwanis Club.
God, John Mulaney's so good. He's one of my current favorites.
He's real hit or miss though. He's got some stuff that's like real. Kind of.
I think his whole album, New in Town, is really great.
Oh, yeah.
I haven't heard his
new in
newer
town.
stuff. Yeah, oh, that's a great bit.
I have AIDS, and I'm new in town.
New in Town, the house party sketch.
The Salt and Pepper Diner one is really good.
Salt and Pepper
That's
Diner.
so funny.
One
Not
of the best stories I've
unusual.
ever heard.
God damn it!
So what we're saying is, if you haven't
What's new
already,
with the cat?
go download and purchase John Mulaney's New in Town. You won't be disappointed.
It's pretty great.
It's great.
He's on Netflix.
Great comedy album.
I love stand-up comedy.
Oh yeah, I'm in love with Doug Stanhope.
Oh,
I love listening to that man talk. He is just so dark, and just makes me sad and happy at the same time. The bit where he's talking about how he helped his mom commit suicide is fucking brilliant.
Yeah, it is.
He's like, "Don't worry,
very
it's
good.
a funny story," and I'm like, "You helped your mom commit suicide? How is this funny?" But it is. Like the way
It is
he's
a
like,
funny story.
We bring her in, we roast her. And we're like, she's in and out from her freaking morphine. And she wakes up like, "Don't worry, Mom, we found a cure." And she's like, fuck you. she's getting hammered on like freaking White Russians,
I did
and she's
hear
just
that one.
spilling all over herself. And like, "Hey, you want to calm it down, Mom? You're getting kind of crazy." She's like, "Hey, there's times to be dainty, and there's times to be a pig." And they all laughed at it, and that was the last thing she said, and then she died.
Jesus.
It's like, holy crap.
Yeah, no, Stanhope does a really good job of telling that story.
That man has led a terrifying life and somehow makes it hilarious.
Yes.
He I heard him talk. He was on the radio one day, and he talked about like how for a short time, like he was like personal friends with Johnny Depp, and he
What?
he was invited over to his house a couple of times, and he went with his weird girlfriend who wears different outfits all the time. Like she'll just wear like a cheerleader outfit one day or like a nurse outfit another day. She's fucking weird like that. And then went over to Johnny Depp's house and hung out with him and his super hot Amber Heard, I think was her name. And like, because they wanted to work on a movie together. Yeah, it was the strangest.
Why in the world is Doug Stanhope working on a movie with Johnny Depp?
They met somewhere, and sorry, yeah, I guess that was a terrible fucking explanation. I think they met on the set of another movie. I think they met on a set where Johnny Depp was working, and Doug Stanhope knew somebody, and he went to visit, and they kind of got into one of those conversations. He's like, "Oh, you know what?
They're like, you want to go do some blow?
I think you know what they had in common. I think they were all smokers, and
Okay.
like LA's becoming one of those kind of like non-smoking towns. So like they all kind of got driven together. And he talked about how like he went over to their house and they all got drunk and just like smoked cigarettes and drank whiskey at Johnny Depp's kitchen table all night while they talked about this project that never got off the ground. I was like, I want to be in that fucking room. That
Right.
sounds amazing.
Yeah.
What if it was actually really boring?
That is a distinct possibility.
I feel like some of those people that are like so outlandish at like their display initially, they probably have really boring personal lives.
Johnny Depp's probably a prick, and Doug Stanhope
Almost
is
guaranteed.
probably really fun in tiny doses.
Yeah.
But 8 hours with Doug Stanhope is probably a real downer.
I would pay money to hang out with him for 8 hours straight.
Really?
I would. That just he's just sad. He doesn't give a shit at all. He had one. He goes, "If I could find a way to kill myself, I would, but it has to be something that's unique." And this Russian guy is telling him, "Oh, what you do is you jump off a bridge and like have like a wire around your neck, so it cuts your head off, but you've super glued your hands to your face, so when it separates, you're hanging like this." And he's like, "That's perfect, but it's yours. It's your bit. I don't want to go out stealing someone else's material. But if it was mine, I'd totally kill myself." And I believe him.
I
was like,
believe him too.
Man.
It sounds absolutely believable.
I asked this on this podcast. If you had to kill yourself within the next 24 hours, what would you do, and then how would you do it?
Like, what would I do to kill
You
myself?
gotta be dead by 4 o'clock tomorrow. Okay?
Yeah.
Mandatory. You got 24 hours to do whatever it is you want, but then you gotta be dead.
Okay.
So what do you do in the next 24 hours, and then how do you do it? Sean, you as well.
Holy
Start
crap.
turning the crank.
24
Don't
hours
really
is
kill
not a lot
yourself.
of
Though.
time to do
You
it.
kind of seem like you're in one of those
Oh.
moods. This is not like a practice run, okay? This is
Don't
for,
get too many
I'm
ideas.
glad you brought it up.
this
Pulls
is
out
oh
long note.
god, this would be the greatest podcast in the history of ever if you just blew your brains out right then.
Oh my God. I want to do a podcast and blow my brains
Mike
out.
and Devin and I would get so fucking famous. It'd be amazing.
Just goes,
Holy crap!
I would run around the room. I'd be like, "We're gonna be famous and rich." Sean just killed himself on the
Also,
podcast.
a shame about Sean killing himself.
Save
Also
that,
that.
save that file. Save that file. Put it on an external hard drive. Mail a backup copy to the bank. Make another copy on another external hard drive. We cannot lose that footage.
I'm covered in like brain splatter. Save that hard drive.
I don't know why
Someone give me a wet
I
map.
pictured he had the common courtesy to blow it that way.
Sean
But you know
doesn't
what?
have common
That's
courtesy.
better.
If
You're right.
anyone wants to go out is splattering me because goddamn
That's
brains.
possible. Yeah.
Like, and also fuck you, Devin.
Did
I
you ever
deserve that.
see the
I
like
deserve
senator that got caught up in a scandal
Bud
and he called a
Dwyer.
press conference
Yeah.
and
Oh yeah,
That's
that's
real
a good way to
creepy
go
footage.
out.
yeah, oh
He's got it
god,
in an envelope and nobody sees it coming. He's
Yeah.
just like, here's your confession letter and here's your confession. Here you go. All right, I got a gun in the bag. And everybody's like, no. Yeah, it's real creepy, but kind of entertaining.
Well, none of that's taken.
Rob?
I guess I'm out for a press conference before I go.
rob the gold reserve, and then make a crazy treasure hunt.
You gotta tomorrow, not like 6 months from now.
24 hours
You're
to
not
rob
fucking Danny
the
Ocean,
Federal
okay?
Reserve.
Like,
If
you're
I'm
gonna rob
not
the
worried
Federal
about
Reserve
dying,
tomorrow?
then if I'm not worried about dying because I know I'm already going into it, then
What's your fucking plan? A ski mask and an M16? Like,
I
you're
still
gonna find
firmly
plans for the
believe.
building on the internet?
oh, this is fictional enough that I can go with rob the gold reserve and then create a crazy celebrity invite treasure hunt.
Crazy
I think he wants this
celebrity
based in
invite-
reality.
Okay, so let's imagine. So you've come into a large amount of funds, and then a celebrity treasure hunt.
Yeah.
But
like
you hide the gold around and hope.
it's buried
Nicole
in
Kidman
it's
looks
buried
for
in the
it in
desert
Tucson?
and like 90s stars have to go and find it.
Oh,
Wait a second, this is like a real world version of like. What's
Yeah,
the
what
freaking
was that?
VR,
What was that show?
book they're making a movie of.
So wait, is it like Expendables meets
Ready
The
Player
Amazing
One.
Race?
Ready Player, you got it.
You
got
just
it.
bit off a Ready Player One, you jerk.
Yeah,
Alright.
jerk.
Yeah,
Oh no!
jerk.
See, I thought he was talking
See-
about what was that show where all the washed-up celebrities were in the had to live in the house.
Celebrity
together?
Rehab.
It was pre-celebrity
No,
rehab.
oh, I
but
thought
yeah,
we were
you know
really
what I'm
I
talking
know what
about.
you're talking about. It had like Vanilla Ice and shit.
Vanilla
and
Ice,
Ron
and-
Jeremy. And,
yeah, and they all had to live in the
Celebrity
house.
Rehab?
I mean, they were probably also on Celebrity
Okay,
Rehab.
okay.
But no,
Then
there was
I
a
don't
Big
know.
Brother style.
So you've hosted your celebrity gold hunting tournament. Now, how do you pull the trigger, so to say?
He's like, with my finger.
We're trying to get at something, Sean. If you could just fucking do us a solid.
I think high speed chase, get police shootout.
Okay, so you incite a high-speed chase. You like rob a liquor store or something like that. You get the cops that chase you down, and then you death by cop, more or less.
Yeah.
Okay, that sounds traumatic for everyone involved, but all right. That also sounds like a horrible way to die. And
Yeah.
Get on the news. Hey, Mom!
multiple gunshots, Devin.
God, mine's gonna like. This is probably super boring. I mean, like unlimited funds kind of situation. I've come into a bunch of money.
No. I don't know where Sean fucking got robbed the fucking gold reserve. I mean, real life, you got 24
John's
hours.
like, I'm
Do your
gonna
thing.
fly.
4 hours.
Or at least you try to fly, and maybe that's how you die.
That's what I was gonna say. I'm gonna pull like
Yeah, because I loved going skydiving, and I want to go again. And maybe I go and somebody fucks up the parachute, and I go splat. You're not
Don't
gonna
pull it.
feel it. You're not gonna feel it. But
Okay.
no, but
Just jump out.
The problem is when you pull it kind of high up, and so you got a ways knowing that you're not gonna make
Go
it.
wingsuit.
Long
Wingsuit.
way.
Ooh, yeah.
Wingsuit like into a building.
Into it exactly
Absolutely.
into a building, splat into a glass thing. And
I'm not gonna lie. I immediately thought of Grand Theft Auto and how I love to just like every time we're not in the middle of doing something, Like we're like, all right, meet up at this place, and I will meet up at that place in a plane crashing in front of the building because that's just like that's how I would do it.
Oh man, I don't even know. I mean, I probably this is probably boring, but I'd probably try to get like a huge get together with everybody, have a bunch of heartfelt, together. We're all get fucking hammered, lose my pants, and then I don't know, face first into a pool somewhere, dead, found the next day.
From what?
Who knows?
I think what did Caleb say?
I don't
Caleb
remember.
said like he would just like sit on a beach and watch the sunrise and drink an entire bottle of whiskey and just swim out into the water as far as he could until he drowned. I was like, well, that also sounds horrible, but
Yeah,
okay.
it's poetic, and you have to work for it.
And nobody sees it?
Eighth of a mile in, you're like, man, I sure am bored.
To be honest, I'd make it like
going.
15 feet. And I'd be
Yeah, I
drowning.
can't swim at all, so I'm like just walking into the water until I drown and can't get up to save myself. That's stupid.
And then you immediately are like, I've made a bad decision.
No, I
You
get
turn
ankle
around.
deep. Like, nope. Go back in. Where's dry?
Cold.
It is so cold. Fuck the ocean.
It's so cold when it hits your nipples. You can't.
No, that's a bad. Tell him when you see him. Tell him it's a bad idea. He's stupid.
Well, that's what
I will.
I think I said that. I was like, drowning and burning alive seem like the worst ways to go.
But see, I hear
I'd
burning
want
alive
something
hurts
quick.
like initially, and then all your nerve endings are dead, so it's not that bad. And then you
you
get
that-
you're still
that
on fire.
sounds like
You're still on
something
fire.
initial.
Made up
And
by
like that pain.
idiots.
Who told you that? The guy that survived burning to death?
Yeah, I
No,
think he
it's,
mentioned it.
it's not so
He
bad.
mentioned it once or twice.
I'm pretty sure burning is one of the most horrible things that can happen to you.
I think drowning probably is my biggest fear.
Yeah.
I think drowning is mentally tough because you're like, oh, I'm drowning. But I think the very end of drowning isn't that bad. Because you again, the asphyxiation, you kind of start to get dizzy and you kind of go quietly. But the panic before that is pretty
Panic.
awful.
I mean, because you're gonna try to hold as long as you
But
can.
there's not,
you breathe in and you're gonna feel the water in your lungs, and you have that instant super surge of panic, like this is wrong, and then you can't get it out because there's nowhere for it to go, and then you try to breathe in again, and then again your lungs are full, and then you
combines
die.
all of that with fire.
No. I think I'd rather burn to death than drown.
Yeah, imagine that, but you're also
Really?
burning.
Legit, I would rather burn to death than drown.
Oh, you're a fucking mad.
Because there's a
Well, it depends on what
helplessness.
type of burn to death. Like you're sitting on a grenade, or
I mean, that's more of an
you're
explosion
burning
when
on the
shit's getting-
stake.
Explosion? Fine. I'll take
I'm
explosion.
in a house
any day.
fire, or someone's covered me with napalm or something like that. But nailed to a cross, all Jesus style, with the flames coming up. I don't want that because that's a slow burn. I don't want to
Burning at the
smolder.
stake.
I don't
That
want to
sounds-
smolder. That's the problem.
You know what keeps me up at night is one of those medieval, yeah, one of those medieval torture techniques where they'd was it called the Iron Bull? It was a giant hollow iron bull,
And they just
and they would seal you
they put you
inside of it,
inside
and they would light a fire underneath of it, and they would just let it get hotter and hotter and hotter until it was just searing your flesh, and there was nowhere you could go.
And they said that
that
supposedly
shit keeps me awake.
there's your screams sound like a bull going ah.
Oh god.
Yeah.
they
that
they
part
put
made me
air
laugh.
holes through it, and when you would scream, it would.
Yeah.
Nope.
Oh god.
No thanks.
That
I'm
sounds,
good.
but again, that's a lot of lead up. I'm talking about the actual thing of burning to death. Man, but you're sitting there, now you're sweating, now you're uncomfortable. Yeah, there's a whole thing of that. Or you,
that's what would be terrible about burning to
you
death.
take your clothes off, and
I'm
then your arm
sticky.
hits the metal, and it's all singy. You don't want it to singe before you burn. Just burn.
Nobody who we've asked this question to is just like, a bunch of fucking pills, probably. I'll just party my balls off and then just take a bunch of pills and pass out.
I just said I'd have a house party and
fall into the pool or something.
No, I'd end up dead in a pool. I'm not sure how. I won't remember it. I'll be so fucking lit that it doesn't matter. I've had plenty of nights where I've survived.
Hashtag lit.
I have no. Yeah, that's right. Old school.
I mean,
time.
that's because everyone that you ask takes it as a fictional question, so they come up with crazy
just you, Sean.
scenarios.
I'm gonna fly to the Federal Reserve
I'm gonna rob 'em blind.
and shoot laser beams. And then I'll blow my brains out.
I just have this image of Sean getting out of a rented Toyota Camry, ski mask on,
What a Toyota Camry?
M16 at the shoulder, and approaching the front of the Federal Reserve, and some fucking Federal Reserve officer just putting a single round in his forehead.
I sort of imagine like him flying over as like a supervillain, but then also Aladdin's A Whole New World is playing for some reason.
For some reason.
Can we film that?
I can
that
just
sounds,
imagine.
That sounds really good.
I imagine Sean in a wingsuit shooting lasers from his eyes, screaming, "A whole new world!" That's the way to go.
As he gets shot to death.
It makes you wonder if are we ever going to segue into any actual topic? Because
I don't know. We can.
There's a.
Speaking of wingsuits, Spider-Man Homecoming new trailer came out.
You made it happen.
Nice.
Oh,
So smooth.
I'm just
You got
gonna
it.
just start the slow clapping with that.
Oh, Spider-Man Homecoming starring Robert Downey Jr. as Tony Stark and co-starring Tom Hardaway.
Tom Hardy.
It's not Hardy. It's Hiddleston. What's his
No,
name?
Don't look at me. I don't know.
That's Loki.
What's his fucking name? It's
I
Tom
don't know.
something. Right?
Michael.
His name's not Michael.
You're just making
it's
up
Tom,
Phil Collins.
right?
Michael.
Phil Collins. Yeah.
It's like Michael Keaton.
Oh, you're right. It's not
Spider-Man
Michael Keaton. Michael
starring
Keaton's
Phil Collins.
Michael Keaton,
Michael Keaton is in it.
The Vulture.
He's not Spider-Man.
That'd
no.
actually
He's
be pretty
1,000
good.
years old.
He does look old as fuck.
Tom Holland. I was fucking
Tom Holland.
close.
Tom Holland.
There you go.
Fuck all of you.
Tom Hardy. It's clearly not him.
But you did say Hiddleston is Loki. I
Hiddleston,
think it is
yeah,
Tom.
Hiddleston. I couldn't remember what it was. Yeah, I knew it was Tom something.
Well, Mike is saying you did a bad job.
That is also true.
Okay.
Tom Holland as the youngest and perhaps pluckiest Spider-Man yet. Also featuring wingsuits and animated spider eyes. Sean, what are your thoughts on new Spidey?
I like it. I haven't been a fan of Spider-Man since I was a kid. Like,
What?
this is the best Peter Parker that we've had.
You didn't like the first two Peter Parkers, or it's just the closest representation of the comic book?
A little of both. The old other ones didn't do a great job of representing Peter Parker, and this is just my favorite of them.
Okay, Devin.
I agree. I'm pretty pumped about the movie. Huge Spider-Man fan. Still read the comics now. I love it. I mean, I loved him in Civil War. I thought it was great. The little bit we saw of him. It looks like it's going to be pretty fun to watch Peter Parker as Peter Parker, and actually, I mean, the CGI is actually obviously much better. And he looks like he's he's quippy. He's running around. He's still not really sure what he's doing, but he's got enough skill, inherently that he's able to fight these people and just kind of figure shit out. It looks like it's gonna be a lot of fun.
Mike?
I like the direction that a lot of the comic movies are going.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like they're all starting to work out a lot of the kinks that they had. Like even the DC stuff. I mean, we talked about how Wonder Woman looks a lot better than some of the other.
Man, I finally saw Suicide Squad. I was not a fan.
So
That's why I haven't bothered seeing it.
It starts off so good.
Yeah, I really
like
liked
this
it.
can be good, but all the music, which can the score plays a huge role in the kind of the feel of the movie. You can tell they're just like, let's just pick every popular song from the 80s and 90s and just people like that shit.
Ride this nostalgia all the way through the movie.
And you're like, what?
I watched an interesting video the other day where they talked to people and they went and they were like, can you hum for me the theme from Star Wars? Can you hum for me the theme from Indiana Jones, Harry Potter? They named a half a dozen different things and people had them off the top of their head. And then they were like, can you hum for me the theme music from any Marvel movie? Anyone you want. And everybody's like, nope, got nothing. Like,
Spider-Man.
That's all I could do. Yeah.
Which isn't in a Marvel movie,
Yeah.
right? Except in like
Yet.
tongue in cheek. But there's no good music in the Marvel movie, and I'm interested because that Wonder Woman trailer is the first piece of kind of cool music that we've seen. I don't know that I'd call it the theme song, but it's
not a
some
theme
pump
song.
you up shit.
I mean, see, that question that they asked him is kind of a thing because none of the Marvel movies have like theme songs. Like Indiana Jones has a distinct.
Well, neither does Star Wars. Star Wars doesn't have a theme song. Indiana Jones doesn't have a theme song.
They have,
Well, yeah,
they have
yeah, they
recurring.
do.
Yeah.
They have multiple movies with recurring.
Right. That's
music and
exactly
But,
the point.
you
Is
know,
there's
you don't
no
have, like-
interesting music in the Marvel
Okay,
movies.
no interesting music, sure.
There's
But if you heard
Hey,
the theme song of Star Wars once, and they only made one movie, you might not remember it. They've made a number, and they've reused some of that stuff, and it's become such a hit that yes, you're gonna remember it. I mean, it's been around for a long time. People are still watching it.
So you think the only reason that they remember the theme music is because there's more than one music that features it?
I just think it plays a big part into it. I mean, you can be like, oh man, the music from Star Wars was great. Can you hum it? Probably not.
When you mix a popular movie that does reuse it, then yeah, I think it creates that, like, this is what I have associated.
I think the answer is more that Marvel does a shitty job with their music direction.
I don't think so. It fits well into it. It doesn't stand out as like a theme, but it's, you know. They
did an interesting thing in the video, and I'll have to shoot you the link. They did an interesting thing with the video where they do you need to leave or then go pee?
All right.
I have to go pee pee.
I have to go pee.
We have facilities for that here. That's the good news.
Where are we?
Just don't trip over Sean's mic or yours or any of the other wires that are snaking through our makeshift studio.
For our audio listeners, Devin just shit himself.
Oh, that's my butt.
What about the way Spider-Man looks? Devin mentioned he likes the way he looks. He's 100%. The most cartoony he's ever been. I don't think he looks particularly realistic. He looks CGI'd into the thing, but in kind of a fun way. Like, I don't really mind, I guess.
At the same time, I think Spider-Man is supposed to be geared towards the younger generations of, like, comic book readers and things like that. There was, he was 15 when he got his powers in the comic. Whereas,
that doesn't excuse the fact that he looks fake in the movie.
I would tend to agree. I thought that when he was in Civil War, like,
I did too.
He looks sort of fuzzy.
He doesn't fit in Civil War, I didn't think. And I think they realized that too, because I don't think you see him along with the other characters all that often, right? Like, he's never standing right next to Captain America.
Well, I mean, he is, but it's like...
It's fast moving. I'll have to go back and watch it again.
Yeah, because, I mean, it's in there, and they did a good job, but it's almost like they had someone, like a different effects studio come in and do Spider-Man, because it was like... It just had a different feel to it. It didn't look bad, but it just looked different from everything else. So.
Yeah. No, I completely agree. So I'm interested to see how it turns out in a whole movie by itself. But I'm psyched about that as well. Moving along from Spider-Man. Oh, also, what's his name? Michael Keaton as the Vulture. That sounds like fun. Although it's weird that he's the Vulture now and was just played Birdman, like won an Oscar for Birdman.
I think it's hilarious.
A really strange choice. Did you see Birdman?
No.
Did you see Birdman?
Nope. I watched
I heard it was good, but it looked weird.
I watched some stuff on, like, the filmmaking behind the scenes with it.
Fascinating filmmaking.
It was really cool to see that stuff, and then I just never watched the movie.
They treat it like a stage play. Big, long, 15-minute-ish uncut segments of the movie. Like, the camera never cuts away. It's always just moving. It moves from scene to scene and follows the actors around. Dialogue is done by moving the camera back and forth. So, like, if nothing else, I don't know that the plot is great, but it's fun to watch from that perspective. And I had a good time watching it, like, where they cheat the cut. Like, when somebody walks really close to the camera and they're like, oh, well, there's a point where they could artificially cut it.
Exactly. I mean, you can't. You have to be able to do things like that, but they do a really good job of, like, and if you watch right here, this is where,
If you get a chance, watch a half hour of it. I don't know that you need to watch the whole thing. I don't know the resolution is really that awesome, but it's worth watching a half hour from, like, a filmmaking kind of perspective. Birdman.
Heard of it?
Not really. Yeah, no.
I haven't seen it.
Little known film. You guys might not have heard of it. I don't know.
Birdman!
Harvey Birdman.
Speaking of Harvey Birdman, actually speaking of Spider-Man, the other thing that that came out, released this week, the new full-length trailer for Guardians of the Galaxy 2. Everybody's back, bigger, better, more exciting. Can we have a sequel in the world without it being bigger, better, more bad guys? Do we always have to go up another level to have a quality sequel? That's what I'm concerned about here.
I mean, I feel like that's the general consensus. I think people compare too much with the previous work. Mm-hmm. I think it should be judged more on a standalone movie. And I think a lot of times in film they try too much to do exactly what they did before, and it doesn't always work. So
Yep.
I mean, it also looked like they were trying to change the battles up a little bit, where it was more so space, ship battles and things like that too.
whole new world.
Lot
Laser
of space
eyes.
opera, space battle. Yeah, okay, I get that.
Yeah, I mean, so I think the answer is no. You don't have to go bigger, better, more people. But again, it becomes difficult if you're doing the same exact story. Well, there's a bad guy, and a lot of it in the first ones, everyone's kind of getting together. So that's part of the first movie is, hey, this team is joining up to become something. Half the movie now they're fighting the big bad. Movie 2, they've already joined together. So what do you do?
Isn't that the fun part?
It is, but you're going to redo
Isn't that why they keep redoing Spider-Man over and over again? Because the fun part is the origin.
I'm thrilled that no sign of an origin story in the new
I like
Spider-Man.
They're not going to resist though.
They might
fucking Ben is dying in the opening.
Yeah.
I'm okay in the credits. If it fucking happens after the credits, I'm gonna be really pissed.
Sure, absolutely.
That was the one thing I liked about Batman vs Superman. They got the whole origin story away.
And I enjoyed the beginning of that origin thing until he started floating up on those bats. I was like, what the fuck is this?
God, that movie can suck.
What a weird dream that I was maybe Bat Jesus. It was so stupid.
I like
That movie can suck
I
all the
like that
dicks.
movie. The more distance I get from it,
What?
Really?
it's on HBO right now. Like it's fun.
It's
Like,
fun.
It is.
It was boring.
It
I don't
has
know.
its slow spots.
I really
I'll tell
think-
you what.
the
Like I
movie.
watched the last 45 minutes of it the other day. The last 45 minutes is pretty spectacular.
It's
The
it's
fight
just
was
it's a
fun.
Marvel movie without the humor.
And that's
I think that's
maybe what
you
they're
need
missing.
that little bit of like.
I don't know. So I heard my biggest part was the story-wise, like motivations of the characters didn't make any sense.
Yep.
And the choices they made didn't make any sense. I heard the extended one fleshes it out a little more. Lex Luthor being behind, pulling the strings a little bit more gets expanded.
No, I
too.
watched the extended version. That's bullshit.
but
it
there's-
was?
He just sucked.
Then-
That's
That
fanboy
character was
horseshit.
garbage.
damn, it sucks. Then.
Garbage.
Garbage.
There's
Caleb
even
would say.
stuff that they didn't show on screen that would have made for great material, like
Sure.
Batman actually getting the kryptonite.
It's just
I don't remember how he did that.
No,
Didn't you just like pay somebody to go
he
get
got
it?
yeah. You go to
Crypto Mart.
Kohl's. Yeah.
he got
I
stopped,
thought
and then
he-
it was explained off screen. He went and back and got it.
He went back. Oh yeah, that's right. Like everything's just smashed up. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, I get that.
Yeah.
Like-
I don't know.
Like, cut out that and just say, okay, he got away with it.
Yeah.
I mean,
I'm
that's the
okay
problem
with
with a lot of superhero movies in general. It's like the storylines work on paper because it's like it's a different medium. But when you try to translate that into film, sometimes it just seems off. Like when you actually see it, or some of these things where it's like
Yeah.
it's not very believable.
Right.
Yeah.
But I don't understand why people like give a pass for certain things. Like generally everybody likes the Marvel movies, but they recognize that they're not like great movies, but they're fun.
Sure.
But then I still don't understand why everybody likes the Dark Knight movies. Like
I liked whatever the second one was. I thought obviously I thought that the Joker was great.
I thought the first one was great until he became Batman.
I didn't. I mean, I thought the first one was okay. I was like, okay, this is the starting point.
I'm
Let's
just
see where
saying-
they go to the rest.
Well,
I didn't
yeah,
even see
you-
the third one. I didn't even bother to see the third one.
well, you have like they're like acceptable movies. I just don't understand. It's like why people like the general like public consciousness latches on to certain things. It's like I don't understand why people like Walking Dead. Well, I understand why people like Walking Dead. I don't understand why people love Walking Dead.
Oh yeah, because I like Walking Dead. I don't love Walking Dead.
And the same thing with the Dark Knight movies. They're perfectly acceptable movies. I think they're fun movies, but people are like, oh, they're the best superhero movies ever made.
I think I'd go with the second one. At least goes top 5.
It was good. I mean,
I could
I
see
think
an
it's one.
argument.
I think
there.
it's one of the. I think it's one of the best. It is the best super quote unquote supervillain ever put on screen.
Yes.
Like hard stop.
yeah.
Doesn't mean
Yeah.
it doesn't mean the movie gets a pass for a lot of its kind of logistic and continuity based errors.
Sure.
Like I don't want to give it a pass for all of that stuff. It has a lot of errors in it, but it's a pretty solid film. It's definitely a great one of the best follow ups to a movie, to a superhero movie ever. Think it would have been better if we could have left out like Harvey Dent / Two-Face.
Agreed. It didn't really make much sense. Him
the
dying didn't make
I
any
think-
sense.
Why does the second superhero movie always need more than one villain?
Right.
That doesn't make it better. It makes
Now
it
with
worse.
2
It
times the
waters it-
villains.
Right,
Yeah.
exactly. It waters it down. I think some of the Spider-Man movies have like 3-4 villains in them. Like, it's fucking
Yeah,
ridiculous.
honestly, I did not like Venom in the third Spider-Man movie, but if you're going to do Venom, then why do you have Sandman there? And Green Goblin.
Yeah,
Right.
it was bad. It was. I mean, we can all agree that movie was just absolute garbage.
But there are bright. The second Batman movie, the Dark Knight, right? The Dark Knight.
Yeah.
Fucking stupidest series of naming stuff ever.
What was it? Batman Begins.
Batman Begins, The Dark Knight,
Knight.
and then The Dark Knight
Right.
Rises is the third fucking movie. That's
Because
retarded.
Well, what you don't understand
It's
is
The
that he
Dark Knight
fell.
Rises, and then The Dark Knight Sets is the third one or something, or The Dark Knight Falls is the third one. No, you make The Dark Knight Rises the third movie. That doesn't make any sense.
He fell in the second one. He's rising in the third.
How did he fall?
He had
At
to take
the-
the blame
at
for
the very-
killing his dad.
Oh,
and-
Yeah,
it
yeah.
didn't make any sense at all. He could have been like, "Hey, one of the Joker's guys, man, he shot that guy and killed him."
So number 2 is The
Yeah.
Dark Knight. The third one is The Dark Knight Rises. If I told you those two things, what would you think the first one is called? Batman. Batman Begins. And what's our new one? The Batman? It's ridiculous.
I don't know.
Stupid. But
There's a lot of
Oh,
potential in that one.
I do, yeah.
I haven't seen
I'm with
anything
Mike
with
on that. I liked him in Batman versus Superman.
He was the only good thing in Batman vs Superman. Well, I mean, because the fight was there, and it was.
why is
flat.
it when the
It was-
four of us get together, all we talk about is Batman versus Superman?
It's a garbage movie. You keep saying it's not bad. It's awful. It was awful.
I like it the further I get away from it. Well, you're
Speaking of things that don't make sense, and you brought this up before the podcast. You're not watching it. Are you watching Westworld?
I'm 3 episodes behind, but yes.
You're 3 back. So you just watched episode 7. I think I just watched episode
Yeah.
9, maybe.
9 is the last one.
I
Nine's
thought
the
10
season-
was the last one.
You're right.
10 is the season finale. I think I
Yep.
just watched 9.
Sometimes I'm wrong.
I enjoyed the first 6 or 7 immensely.
Let me just say, somehow, even though I'm on Facebook all the time, I have yet to have anything spoiled. I know nothing about
I'm not
the
going to
show.
spoil it. I'm not going to mention any particular plot points.
No.
I don't think it makes any fucking sense at all.
So, I guess the
I think it's
season
relying
finale
on
starts pulling things together. It makes a bit more sense.
it better.
It does. It does. I mean, so I made a mistake of going on YouTube or somewhere, and it was like, oh, here's a bunch of theories of what could be happening, and those theories were some made no sense and some ended up being true. Helped. I'm like, oh, hold on, and
If
went back
I
and looked. And was
need-
like, oh, this makes sense.
If I need YouTube
No,
to
no, no.
enjoy and make sense of your series, you are fucking it up.
No. So what happened was it ended up spoiling a lot of the last episode for me.
Okay.
Because they did
All right.
a lot, and I was like, oh man, I kind of wish I hadn't gone on there, and I hadn't seen it, and I hadn't gone on with those eyes, because this would have been a good rewatch. Because rewatching it, like, whoa, and that's a whole, it'd become a bit of a different experience watching the first season through.
Did you guys like Inception?
I liked it. I liked it.
Yeah. It wasn't
You know,
a
I saw it
life-changing
once,
thing like
and that
some
was
people
enough.
describe
I
it
thought it
as.
was really good.
It was just.
I like.
I
I
really liked
I like
Inception.
the
I'll
premise
go
of
with
it.
that.
It was a good movie.
I like the outside story of him. Is he in a dream or not, and the spinning top at the end, super cool because they left it open.
God, spoiler alert.
Oh, sorry.
From like 8 years ago or something.
Yeah.
I like movies that set me in interesting places with different rules and explain those rules and like exist and play with those rules throughout the movie. That kind of stuff's really interesting to me, and that's what Inception did. Was like, oh, okay, here's this set of rules. We can go into dreams, and here's how it happens. And watching them kind of play in that sandbox was fun to me.
And that's what I like about Westworld. I mean, you're going into.
I don't think they're following the rules.
I
That's
believe
the
that- I
problem.
believe that they
It
are.
doesn't make it. That's why it doesn't make any
Yeah.
sense.
So they. I mean, and this isn't like.
Why do you
this
ask?
This is okay. Good.
I was wondering if that was comparable, where it's like something that's really well liked, but then in a lot of ways didn't make a whole lot of sense.
Do you think Inception breaks down that badly?
I wouldn't say it breaks down, but it is a bit hard to follow. I feel like you don't really appreciate it as a movie until you watch it again.
Yeah, I mean, I've watched it a couple of times.
I think it's a good movie, but I also, like Sean said, it's like people praise it like God among men.
So you bring up an interesting point. So like Inception, its basic premise is kind of dumb, right? Like we're gonna make a guy think this. But I think they set up from the very beginning, like, okay, well, here's what we're going to do. We're going to make him think this. It's possible. Here's what we need to do to do it. Mm-hmm. So you've kind of given me the rules that's possible, even if in the real world it's a stupid thing to think about. They set that up at the beginning, and so I give that kind of stuff a pass.
Westworld doesn't give you that sort of setup, really? Or?
I think the flaw in Westworld is they set up rules and kind of guidelines and bumpers, that kind of thing for the series in the first few episodes, and those break down very quickly towards the end of the series.
I wish we could go a little bit more into it, at least because I definitely think you should watch the show. It's definitely worth watching. And you may be on the same page, like, look, this is kind of confusing, and I don't really understand it. I have enjoyed it since the first episode.
Remember the password.
And
Great example. Great non-spoiler example. Okay, so Westworld is a park filled with robots, right? That you can go murder or fuck or do whatever it is you want, right? That's the premise of the series.
Yeah.
Okay.
People pay money. They go there, go crazy.
Go crazy. You can shoot whoever you want. You can fuck whoever you want. It's built in the old west. It's fine.
It's like only the top 5% that can afford it.
It's like $40,000 a week to go.
$40,000 a day.
A day. Oh,
$40,000
right.
a day.
Yeah.
So it's nuts.
So in the opening episodes of the park, we see all this really interesting stuff where there's people watching everything that goes on. Right. People with iPads wandering around like, oh, that robot's not where he's supposed to be. Mm-hmm. That guest is getting a little rowdy. Maybe we should send somebody in to distract him a little bit, right? We're keeping a tight rein on this fake world that's happening. Second half of the series, none of that shit is going on. Everybody's just fucking running wild. Nobody seems to give a shit what's happening in the park anymore.
Yeah.
So that's the kind of stuff that breaks down.
It's kind of hard to talk too much about it without giving too much of a
we can move on from Westworld so I don't spoil it for Mike.
I highly recommend watching it.
Yeah.
You may be on the same path as him, but you know what? I don't freaking get down with this. I'm super into it. I got the season finale. I'm ready for the next season. It's probably not until 2018, they think.
It's worth a watch, but don't kill yourself.
I don't like this, I don't like this hour, this once a year. Get on your shit. Like Game of Thrones. Now we're going to do a half season a year, and that's garbage.
Never seen an episode of it.
Of Game of Thrones?
Never seen it. I just got HBO.
Oh, watch Game of Thrones.
Man.
I thought at this point.
It's like 7 seasons in, isn't it? I don't have that kind of free time, man.
Don't be a bitch.
Okay.
I'm the same way. I'm the same way. I was thinking about it the other day. Somebody was like, talked about Breaking Bad. And they were like, how have you not watched Breaking Bad? I'm like, I don't have 110 hours or whatever that series runs.
We all say that, but how much time do we waste doing whatever?
I've tried to waste less time now.
Yeah,
although you know what, I guess I could
too, and
I guess I could spend
YouTube.
Time. Yeah, that's true.
Watching bullshit.
Yeah, watching bullshit. I try to watch less bullshit on TV now.
I try to shows that are over now. I'm like, okay, because for Game of Thrones, I've got to catch up 7 freaking seasons to not get spoiled by all this other kind of nonsense, or just walk away from it. Breaking Bad, it's over. You've got 7 or whatever seasons.
5 seasons.
5 seasons.
Yeah, it's not even ridiculous.
Sons of Anarchy. Is that still
5,
on, or is it over?
13 episode seasons?
I never finished Sons of Anarchy.
It changes towards the end.
It's over.
Okay.
Go ahead and watch it. I'll kind of crank through it when I get a chance. But if I start Game of Thrones, then all these things that I've seen, I'm like, oh yeah.
I mean,
spoiler. Oh,
now's
this
the time
season.
though, because nobody's talking about it.
Honestly,
nobody's talking about it right now. If you wait until the next season starts, that's when spoilers get cranked up on Facebook and stuff. Okay. You've probably forgotten because you don't know any of the character names.
There's a guy named Snow. There's a guy named Snow.
There is a guy named Snow.
You know nothing.
And he knows nothing. Spoiler alert: Jon Snow knows nothing.
I'm not gonna watch it now.
Yeah, sorry, man.
Ruined it.
Thanks,
Obama.
I mean, really, just while I'm cooking dinner or something, I just put tablet up with Netflix on it. I don't bother with any of the current shows on TV, but going back and watching Breaking Bad, that's a perfect one where it's like...
I do audiobooks during that stuff now.
Yeah,
I'm all Audible and stuff like that.
I got a long trip into work, so I listen to audiobooks while I'm driving.
Yeah.
I can't read or write.
That's why audiobooks are great. Is people read to you.
Zika
It's like
podcast
it's like being
sponsored
a
by
child.
Audible.
Wait, is this now the Zika podcast?
Rebranding at this moment.
I bet that's available.
I'm pretty sure ZikaPodcast.com
I bet that's available on
is not
Google.
taken.
The Zika podcast at gmail.com. That could be us.
I wonder how much we're going to cut in of that so that this makes any bit of sense. They're going to be like, why the fuck are they talking about Zika?
This guy's loves.
Oh,
Zika.
at the beginning? Yeah, I don't know. Probably none of it.
And then
Let's just leave it out entirely.
every time you say Zika, just throw in Devin's weird
Snort
throat-
noise?
snort.
Use that as like a
I've cleared
sensor.
my nose 3 times since we started this.
Welcome to the podcast.
Awesome.
I have one more thing that I would like to do since we are here. I do not believe that we have made you two do this. We have a price that we extract from our guests here on the new and relaunched Last Call podcast. I would like from each of you the story of the dumbest thing that you have ever done. I would like to hear about a time that somebody got pretty badly hurt or almost got really badly hurt. You got arrested. Cops may have been involved. Blood may have been shed. Something really stupid that you did. Don't say, I have a hard time picking because there's so many of them because I have such a crazy life, because everybody who says that tells a shitty story.
I don't have
So
a crazy life. I'm just really stupid.
That's fine.
Okay.
Number one with a bullet. I want the good one.
Okay.
Mike was there for all of mine, so.
Okay.
Probably.
That is probably true. So what is it? What's the dumb one? What's the one where you, the next day, you were like, I should not have done that. That was a stupid idea. I probably almost died.
I'm hoping he starts when I was like told that.
One that you probably haven't told was, so my parents went out of town.
Good start.
My dad owns a Corvette.
Better start.
I like where this is going. I think I know where you're going.
Are we going like Ferris Bueller's Day Off here? Is that
Well, so Mike and I are
It'd be amazing if
riding
he just
around
told the
Severna
story
Park.
from Ferris Bueller's Day Off as if he was Cameron. My friend Ferris came by and he was like, "Oh, we should take the Ferrari," and it was like, "No, that's a bad idea."
Ross.
Sorry, go ahead.
So we decided to take the Corvette out around Severna Park. I think it's going to be really cool if when the stoplight changes, I just do a complete burnout. So I turn the traction control off on the car.
Jesus Christ.
I full gas pedal to the floor. Screeching tires, like pulling out.
Keep it pointed straight.
For the most part,
More
yeah.
or less. Okay.
Straight-ish.
Yeah.
Straightish. Okay.
And then, pull out onto Route 2 and just start flying up the road before the lights turn on behind me.
Oh. That's brutal.
And the cop comes over, he's like, I was sitting right behind you at that light.
You stupid idiot.
GTA shit. You
What
shouldn't have stopped.
I'm sitting there, like, probably 17 years old, like, I have a hard time working a clutch. I don't know what I'm just playing.
That's really what he
stupid.
sounded like. I was there for that one. I couldn't believe it too.
Lets me
you
off
know
with
the
a
cop
warning.
No.
Oh, okay. That's so good.
Lets me off with a warning.
Oh, nice.
Wow.
Just like, big eyed, I'm sorry, sir.
I think he would have been within his rights to take you to jail for that if you
Yeah.
wanted.
Oh,
I
no.
think that's like reckless endangerment.
Yeah,
like,
yeah, definitely.
Yeah, no, he was. There would have been 5 possible tickets from this.
Oh, yeah.
Easily.
Wow.
Can we spin off real quick? I don't remember if we've talked about this. Do you remember the time I think you were stopped at the Early Heights light? And you said you heard the most horrible noise you've ever heard in your life. And it was just like, ah! And all of a sudden you saw my
Graffitied van, yeah.
go flying by at like 100 miles an hour. And then his Sean's Jeep
That's
close
right.
in tow.
Yeah, I had forgotten about that. Yeah, I was like, what the fuck is that sound?
God, how are we alive?
Sounds like a really shitty car being followed by a slightly less shitty car.
But at the house party that we had the weekend that my parents were out of town, my dad's Corvette got the littlest scratch on it. Still have never lived it down.
Oh, really? Have you ever told your dad that you took the vet that day and burned it out?
No. We had kegs in the basement. They found like pills around the house. Like someone threw up.
No, I meant, have you ever told your dad about the day you stole his car and got pulled over for doing a burnout? Okay.
Oh, no, the neighbors like ratted on me. Like,
how did the neighbors know?
They saw me take the Corvette out.
Oh, I see. Okay. Oh, so he knew immediately. This wasn't a thing like years later. Dad, guess what I did?
He did not care about the house. I mean, it probably had 60 people there, kind of thing.
Oh, with the kegs and the pills and.
Didn't care about that. You scratched the Corvette.
That was the party where
a house.
I didn't make it there. I was at work or something, and I came afterwards. But you had people boxing in the basement, and somebody got busted open and bled on the floor and stained the floor.
Blood stains all over the floor. Could not get it out.
That is one of the dumbest things that
your story.
that young people do.
So this is the continuation of the story.
Okay.
Backyard boxing is the best.
That is the worst.
We did backyard boxing here for a bit.
Yes, we did.
Yes, we did.
That shows you how mature I am. I bought a house before I stopped backyard boxing.
You were ahead of the curve.
I forget that guy that I boxed, and God, I just didn't stand a chance.
Wait, here?
Yeah.
Oh, is that
I got my ass kicked.
Is that one guy's? He was like real cocky about it.
Oh,
but then,
the little skinny black kid.
Yeah.
I went to school with him.
Oh, really? It was that girl. Austin?
Tall kid with really long arms that I could not get near him.
And he was doing this little swinging. I think about that every now and then. I'm like, that fucking prick. That fucking.
I should have just walked over and snuck him.
He had Sandy there, oh my God, stay down, stop it. I'm like, I'm fine.
I'm a man.
A man.
You know you fucked up if somebody's telling you to stay down.
Yeah.
You have made a bad decision.
No, as tall as he was, the extra length that he had on me, he didn't have a ton of power behind him.
No, he was a little skinny guy, but he was quick and he had long arms. Just got in close and got some body shots.
I just couldn't get in close with him and got my ass kicked.
Should have bit him.
Should have bit him.
No, the one thing I didn't like about that was after he got me one time good in the jaw, I went down to a knee, and then he came over while I was on the ground and got me in the face.
Yeah, that's kind of shitty.
Yeah.
It was supposed to be all in fun. He's a prick.
Yeah, it kind of sucks.
He's probably dead.
Devin!
Okay, so the stupidest thing I've done I can remember is
happened about 9 months before the birth of your daughter.
Yeah, I was messed up. I think I was 21, 22, hanging out with my buddy Jacob, and he says, "Hey, let's go to Renfest."
I knew it.
Saw that coming.
I was like, he's gonna talk about Renfest.
This is I don't know, December. So Renfest isn't really, open.
Oh shit!
Okay. So we're there with two, 16-year-old kids back on my theater days. So we had just left the show or something, and we're walking around. It's it's nighttime. So we hop the fence. We walk.
So I'm curious, so if Renfest isn't open, I always wonder about that. I guess they kind of seal it up as best they can.
Well, let me tell you a story.
They must shutter a lot of the places.
Let me tell you.
So is there a big fence you have to scale?
There's not a big fence, like a regular.
Build a wall.
Regular old fence. You
you go into the woods and you just jump like a 6-foot fence or something.
Yeah, we parked across the street, walked a bit, hopped the fence, kept walking.
Okay.
Got into there. We're wandering around. And, everything's off, everything's closed, except for one building that's lit up. It's like, is somebody here? So we walk over near it, and we're pretty drunk at this point.
I would imagine
And,
so.
we see
If
a
there was
car.
one lit up building in the middle of Renfest and I was there in the winter when it was closed, I would run the fuck away.
No.
because I'd
You
be
gotta know.
worried about ghosts.
You gotta find out what's going on.
It's ghosts.
No, what? I
Oh, it's
wish
Renfest. That guy has a battle axe.
I wish it was a ghost. Because there's a car there. I'm like, okay, someone's living at Renfest. Someone lives here, like, as their home.
I guess there's like a
Well,
caretaker.
So
Okay,
we
go ahead.
walk up-
Sorry.
We walk up, and the lights are on, and we're peeking into the house, and we're peeking into the house.
Fuck.
And down the steps comes a fat, nude man. Nude, hairy, fat man. We're like, oh, fuck. And he walks, gets like a glass of water or something.
Is it the king? Does the king get to live
He
there in
looked
the
like a
off season?
king. You're the king. This actually is where you live now.
You're
That's
a
the
wizard,
best part
Harry.
of being the king.
So we duck down and we wait, and he like gets something, and he heads back up. So we see his big king ass, and he goes up there. Like, all right, let's get the fuck away from here. And we go in, and we're walking around. It's
This is the weirdest voyeur story ever.
it was super hot. So we're walking around, and some of the people are being jerks. They're kind of pulling like a little placard off of whatever's nailed to a tree. I found a full-length mirror, so I'm wandering around with a full-length mirror in my hands, and somebody has something else. And we've got a couple things, and we go back to the house, and we're looking, and like, this car is there. And my buddy Jake, he's like, let's just check to see if it's open.
Dude, you should have just put that full length mirror up in front
Oh.
of one of his windows. That would have fucked with him so bad.
Well, so he opens the door, and the door of the car opens, and he's like, and all of a sudden you hear ding, ding, ding. He's like, the keys are in the ignition. So back up
What the
15 minutes.
Fuck. Oh, are
I
we?
meant to forget. Like, so we got a couple things off the trees. I had a full-length mirror. Jake had a fire extinguisher. He had found, and so I'm holding this mirror, and he looks me in the eye. He's like, "Take the two guys, and get the fuck out of here." I was like, "What are you doing?" And he's standing here, holding the fire extinguisher, the door open, and he's like, "Get the fuck out of here." I was like, "Oh no!" So as I turn, I look, and he turns and unloads the fire extinguisher in this man's car. And have you ever used a fire extinguisher? It is fucking gas, powdery, shitty nonsense. It just empties it into this thing. So I'm like, fuck! Start running. All I hear is, I'm calling the fucking cops! I'm like, this man's a lot awake, has seen us just empty it in there and is calling the cops. So I throw the mirror down, end up like hitting a pothole, messing my knee up for a bit, and we just book it off. End up, the rest of the story is stupid, but yeah. So we broke into Renfest. I still have part of his key ring in my house.
What the fuck?
Yeah. So because it was a huge set of keys, and one had this little like Incredible Hulk figurine on it, and I found it last week. I said, Renfest. Oh, we're assholes. Because not only is he's asleep, he has to live at the Renfest.
One, that's really mean.
It's super mean.
Two, did you ever figure out who he was? He's like a caretaker or something
He's
like
probably
that?
the caretaker. He's probably the caretaker. So it means this guy has to live at Renfest where there's no one around. Then all
They
of a sudden
don't even
people-
give him clothes.
He's totally nude. He hears like rustling and he sees people running around. He's like, what the fuck is this? Then someone just opens his car, steals his keys, and empties a fire extinguisher into his car and runs off like a bunch of assholes.
3, props on the Pulp Fiction style. 15 minutes previously, we found a fire extinguisher. Like you didn't want to spoil you didn't want to spoil the fact that you had a fire
Flashback,
extinguisher, so you had to do a little mini flashback in the
Yeah.
middle of the story.
Yeah, it was pretty good. It was a pretty dumb day. It was a pretty dumb day.
Wow, I didn't know you were that mean. That's fucked up.
Yeah, I'm super mean.
That poor guy the next day.
Fuck him. He a nasty
Yeah,
ass.
fuck him. He's just at his house, minding his business.
His house, it's the Renaissance Festival. He probably was squatting there. He was probably squatting at the Renaissance.
You think so?
I'm thinking he could have been.
See,
I'm
I'm
thinking that
thinking-
justifies me
I'm
being a
thinking-
jerk.
I'm thinking that's your
thinking
justification.
There
I'm
we
thinking
go.
I'm thinking a live-in caretaker makes sense because I always wonder about because that place there's still a lot of stuff there. Like you could go there and you could do all kinds of fucked up stuff.
Yeah, you can.
Yeah, you can. Believe it.
Flashback 15 minutes ago when Devon started that story. There's all kinds of fucked up shit you could do there even when it's closed.
Oh yeah.
That's fascinating.
Yeah.
Now I want to go visit it. What are you
Good
guys
day.
doing the rest of the day?
Yeah, cut this
You
feed.
gotta-
We're going.
Here we come,
That's a
Crownsville.
Shaky
That's a
cam
wrap.
video of us just breaking in, instantly getting arrested. Just nothing fun happens. We go there, we get arrested, we go to jail.
The sheriff said we couldn't do this podcast anymore. We're really sorry.
I think nothing fun happens as a rundown of Renfest in general.
Yeah. You spend a bunch of money,
don't-
you have
you
an
don't-
okay
you don't like
time, you go
Renfest?
home.
It's okay.
I like Renfest.
It's okay. It's just.
I go every year.
Oh, well, that's cool for you.
Connor's gone every year of his life.
That's cool for him, I guess.
Yeah, it's kind of neat. Just go there and just see stuff you don't normally see.
Like what? Like a horse?
Yeah, fucking horses. Yeah, I'm
expectations.
super into horses.
Yeah, I mean, like what else do you see? Like you see a horse, you see a man in a doublet.
Oh, yeah.
I'll buy you a doublet
listen,
tomorrow.
listen how super cool you are. Yeah,
Yeah.
there's nothing.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I know
there's
what a
just-
doublet
there's
is.
just-
Fucking nerds.
there's just a horse. Yeah, what are you guys going there?
One
Fucking
horse
see horses?
and a man
What do you
in a
want? A
doublet.
fucking sword? Come on, you fucking nerd.
Dude, I do kind of want a sword though.
It's like, yeah, fuck yeah, I want a sword. I go every year and look at the
I
same.
can get a sword at Walmart.
I go every year and look at the same $400 sword and be like, next year I'm gonna buy it, and I never.
next year as you fork out like $140. You could have bought that sword a couple years ago.
It's an investment for the kids.
Yeah, no, I could have bought. Yeah, no, you don't want like a mall ninja sword. You don't want like a ninja sword that's like pink chrome. You want like this is like a
You
legit
don't.
sword.
Where you like you pull off and it's got hot glue holding
Yeah,
part of it together.
yeah.
I want the shittiest sword I can get my hands on, so I
Well,
don't
that's-
end up, if anything, only murdering myself.
You can go to New York City and you can go to like Chinatown. You can literally buy a replica of the Kill Bill sword,
Yeah.
$20 tops. Like full metal. Like no, I'm sure the
Sign me
first
up.
time you swing it, that fucking blade is coming out of that handle in whatever direction you swing it. But it will look exactly like that sword.
That's all I need.
I had a katana when I was younger. That
Yeah,
happened.
everybody did.
Yeah.
One of my favorite subreddits that I look at occasionally is r/mall ninja shit. Like, and it's just like all these like like throwing stars and like Kill Bill swords and stuff like that. But yeah, no, like I want like a legit samurai sword. That's one of my dreams. Like, I want an actual like forged Japanese katana. One day.
Christmas is right around the corner. Does your wife watch the podcast?
I think maybe sometimes.
Yeah, they're like
she's not gonna buy that for me.
they're like
Okay.
real ones are like $1,000.
It depends on how real you want to go. Like good ones, like, I want one that's like made by like craftsmen. I watch a really cool like
Yeah.
making of and like
Those
a
are like $1,000.
A legit samurai sword. Like one guy doesn't do the whole thing. Like one guy makes the blade and the other guy makes the wood for the handle and one guy wraps it and the other guy makes. There's guys who just make the scabbard part, like the part above your hand. Like it's so fascinating.
Yeah, that's pretty cool. You get like masters of each craft combining to get
Yeah,
something
yeah,
really good.
exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like an assembly line.
I'd love
Like Ford Automotive.
my dream. Yeah.
Got it.
It's just like buying a Fiesta. It's basically the same
You
thing.
basically bought a Fiesta.
I don't have anything else that we need to talk about. Do you have anything else you want to hit while we're here?
No, I think that's a good stopping point. But
I do too.
we should definitely get everybody back together. We'll have another
I agree.
This
last,
is fun. It's been a
last
while.
call reunion.
I agree.
Reunion tour.
Yeah, we definitely
Real quick,
do.
so Devin, you're the other big fan of Last of Us.
Oh, yeah, I love The Last of Us.
The new
played it?
trailer for that came out.
No, I never had that correct PlayStation, so I did not watch. I did not play The Last of Us. I'm disappointed that the existence of a second one and that trailer spoils the first one. Now I know the game is like 6
Yeah,
years
it's
old
your
now.
fault.
I know.
Yeah,
You're
it's
right.
like it's been a
You're
while.
right.
Yeah.
You're right.
Now, did you see
It's
the,
still worth playing though. I played it 3 times. Even knowing how the story ends, it's still just a lot of fun. It's just sad,
I
man.
still have a PS4 sitting in the box over there.
Do you really?
Yep, it's right there behind you.
there is the running theory online that the
Don't
main
go-
character is actually dead.
You're dead.
And there's also
Let's not get into it.
There's also
you
a
should-
theory
I know.
that she is a lesbian.
Yeah.
I don't know what that has to do with anything, but I came
Wait,
across an
are you-
article that was like,
Are you serious?
yeah. There's an article that was
Who
like,
cares?
we're pretty
This
sure
is
the
stupid as
lead
the-
character in
the
Last of Us-
theory that she
Last of Us 2
loves that
is
gun.
super. I think the word was super gay. I don't know why. I don't know why they said that.
Should we make that the title this week?
Super gay.
It's like 8 U's, so it's just super gay.
I'll be honest. As a guy who ran a show called Guycast for a lot of years, putting gay stuff in your title can get you a lot of hits, but they're not always the kind of hits you want.
Yeah, okay.
Any publicity is good publicity.
Well, there is something we said. You asked. We were looking at the numbers for my old show the other day. We're like still getting hundreds of downloads a month. You were like, it's been off the air for years. You're like, how do you get that? Well, I think it's a lot of like guys looking for like ooh, guy cast, and then they're very disappointed with it.
Oh,
It is not
man.
nearly as
Even
gay. It's not nearly as gay as they would hope.
Even the people that know what it is are very disappointed.
That's also true.
Oh man, maybe
That's
that's also
also
good stuff back in the day.
So and I am disappointed.
Yeah, no, that's very true.
Well,
All
let's
right,
go-
let's go.
We'll go ahead and wrap it up. Thank you very much for everybody. Thanks for all the listeners, viewers joining us every week. We'll see you again next week. Thanks to Devon and Sean for joining us this time.
Hey guys.
Thanks as always, Tristan, for joining me.
My pleasure.
We'll see you all next time on the next Last Call.
See you.
Go fuck yourself.
Aw.
That's fair.
Mikey's wrong.
Super gay.
Oh, I forgot about that.
But fair.
Mikey's wrong.